Thank you so much for coming back to our community for the 4th season of the Get Set podcast.
And if you're brand new to the pod, welcome. We couldn't be happier that you've tuned in with us.
This season, we tackle the art of multi-hyphenate and how to make networking work for you.
Speaking of networking, we have major news coming soon. We can't spill just yet, but when we do, the tea will be piping hot.
So hot. I can't wait.
Don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Old Girls Entertainment and join our community over on Patreon at patreon.com/oldgirlsentertainment for our brand new After Hours special where we debrief some of our favorite takeaways from each episode with our fabulous guests this season. Welcome to season 4 of the Get Set podcast, an Old Girls Entertainment production. We are so excited, as always, to be here on the pod sharing our experiences as women in the TV and film industry.
Woo, woo.
Woo, woo.
Yes, today we are delving into networking, how to network successfully, our experiences. So let's go ahead and get started. First things first, I think the biggest lesson that I learned really quickly was that you are always networking, no matter what stage in your career that you are. I got this advice from when I was in community college. I was interning with a teeny tiny little itty bitty, like self-funded studio. He did like nonprofit videos for people. And he just said, he was like, just remember, even right now, you're networking. And that was like when I don't know, I was like maybe 19, 20, 18, 19. I don't know. So that was a really good lesson, like right away. And it's true. You're networking no matter what, because again, you're just like, no matter what, you're meeting people. You never know who's going to call on you or who you're going to call on. The next time.
And that could go for you in a TV and film job or not. Because in the city that we live, LA, so many people have, side passion projects or other careers. And there have been countless times where I've met people in my full-time side job who have then gone on to refer me to production jobs because they're like, oh, I know how she works. I know she's great to work with. I know she shows up on time. I know you're an actor or I know you produce. Like, can you, I have a co-star thing for this. Like, can you hop in on this web series or whatever?
Yeah.
As long as it's
SAG. I also think networking, so let's go ahead and talk about networking in unusual places or places you wouldn't expect. I think Mo, you just touched on like work outside of during your survival job, you're networking.
So I know, places? Right. I no longer have this position, but I used to be, a lifeguard and up and in management levels for the city of LA. And I was on set so someone reached out to me because they went to college with me. So they knew my work ethic. It was actually Bailey, who's been on our podcast before. So thank you, Bailey Castle. Love you. So I was the lifeguard on set that day. I am not a set medic. So they also had to have a set medic there. The set medic, oddly enough, also worked for the city of LA in a past life. So we had like mutual contacts. And now I'm on his short list for, future jobs where they need a lifeguard and a set medic if, he needs to pull in another person. Mm-hmm. So again, that I networked from school, then turned into a network on set and, with past history from a previous employer and understanding the demands of that job. And there have been so many instances where we met someone that we're meeting with for lunch later that we met at a women's networking event, which we'll get into. All of the places. I've met people in the bathroom.
The women's restroom is the best place to meet people.
Totally. Handing someone a tampon is like, you saved my life.
Yeah, exactly. Let me give you a job.
Let me give you a job because you can clearly, if you carry around a tampon, you are ready for anything.
Yeah, you're doing life better than I am. So
yeah. For real.
Just networking in unusual places. Again, also survival job, serving. I mean, I know a bunch of actors that are serving alongside me.
Totally.
They're definitely like, we always come in and be like, oh, what's happening with your career? We just chit chat with one another. There's someone who's wants to get into animation. So all those people, like, connecting, and you never know. Like, I introduced, the one girl who's trying to get into animation to a friend who's maybe starting, or was talking about starting a short film, animated short film, which I don't know if they ended up doing, but either way, like, the
You
fact
made
that she
that
told
connection
me,
for them.
right, the fact that she told me she was an animator, and then I had just talked to a friend who was trying to start an animation thing, connection made. So you never know. And then also, again, unusual-ish place, but we've already talked about a little bit, touched on it, networking at school. When you're at school and you're studying, like, again, not really like unusual, or I don't know. I guess it makes sense that you're networking at school, but I think also it's kind of, you're not just networking vertically, you're networking horizontally. So it's the people who are
Yes.
right next to you learning the same thing that you're learning at the same time. And then once their career kicks off or goes off, they may recommend you, or whatever it is, or you all come together to make a short film and do what you can do, whatever it is. I mean, and I'm really surprised because I went to school up in San Francisco, that I'm still so deeply connected
To our favorite
to.
DP
Right,
and our
right.
favorite co-producer.
Exactly. So, right. That's right. Yeah, Hannah was freaking there
Literally.
too. So, yeah, like, I'm so deeply connected to so many of my friends from school that you know, just I started networking and then just continued it out here in LA, like whenever they've all come out, and so on. So, yeah, I think don't
Yeah, and my
underestimate
degree
that.
was in theater.
Mhm.
And so some people I think might not in the moment when you're like in the trenches, you're not really thinking like, oh, they might go on to TV and film, or they might, you're not really thinking about that. You're just like in the trenches of this theater world. But I met Colleen, one of my best friends, studying abroad at Shakespeare's
Yeah.
Globe Theater,
Speaking of
Shakespeare, and she's
unusual
now
places, like,
yeah, and she's now the VP of development of production for
mhm.
for like a TV and film company. So it's the yeah, I and I think we say this, and school cannot be like, even if you're not in film school
Mhm.
or whatever, like I'm thinking about taking a tax class. Do you think that I'm going to meet people from the industry in there? Maybe. Or
Probably.
maybe someone's probably
Honestly.
maybe, they're going to, maybe a finance person, maybe we're going to meet our CFO finally that we need, like
Well,
who
also, because you have to remember that this industry is built off of so many different people. It's not just actors, writers, and directors, and that's all.
totally.
It's gaffers, it's financiers, it's, the post-production side of things, it's caterers. So I mean, like, you have literally all the people here. So yeah, I mean, it just makes, so yeah, it makes sense when you think about it in that way. You're networking everyone, and everyone knows something. Who a caterer may know of, like, whatever, I don't know, randomly, that maybe or maybe not, but a caterer may know of like a developing thing that gets talked to. I mean, even so, I literally just had an interview yesterday for a job, and I got recommended from a costume department person who's
Yes.
not in my normal department, like, not in the
Or
ED
chain of
department,
command.
anything,
Yeah.
no. But they recommended me from another job. And again, I guess now we're kind of switching into networking on the job. But that's kind of like strange, strange a little bit. It's not obvious, and it doesn't, yeah. But
You know
because you
what
work
too?
well with people, like, sometimes it'll,
Totally.
yeah.
Um s- Really quick, wrapping up the off the job stuff.
Hmm.
Um my husband used to work for like a four diamond hotel, and one of the people that he worked with is a series regular on a show,
Hmm.
and his takeaway about this person is they are so nice. They are so nice. They were always nice.
Hmm.
On the adverse side of that, you could totally have people, even if you're at dinner and you treat a server badly, what if that server ends up being your director one day or your PA one day, and you were unkind to them at the restaurant or at the hotel that you went to? Obviously, we hear things about celebrities, like of course, like they have a bad day or whatever. But if there are consistently stories coming out about you not tipping, that is adverse networking, my friend.
Yeah.
Hot take.
True. True.
True.
Agreed, agreed. But yeah, so let's step into networking on the job.
Yes.
First of all, networking on the job, I think, really starts with doing the damn job and doing it well. and doing it with a good attitude. And then you can get into networking. I think that ends up inevitably coming up and naturally talking. But if you come onto the job and all you're doing is trying to, like,
Talk about
obviously
yourself.
network, yeah, and talk about yourself and do all that sort of stuff, and you then let the job slide, like, that's where I think things, again, it's that adverse networking. Like, you may be a great personality and like great, to be around and like chat with, but if you're not good at the job, then how can they count on you to do well at the next job, if you don't put the job itself or the work itself first.
Yeah, it's about
um
knowing your place in the function of this machine that is
mhm.
production. And I mean, and as an actor, you probably hear this term too. In your role in production, what is your function? If
Yep.
your function is, here, sir, here's your coffee, are you going to be, are you going to like do a pirouette and then give him his coffee? No, no. You know what I mean? Like
Unless the script
you're
calls for it.
unless the script calls for it, unless the director tells you to, you're
Yeah.
building this world and that is your function. So knowing your function in front of the camera, knowing your function behind the camera. I will tell you from an acting perspective, I mean, and as I've done like a few PA jobs for other things too. It's like if they call quiet on set and you're still talking to me, my level of anxiety spikes. In my head, I'm like, shut the fuck up. Why are you still talking? Are people thinking that I'm with this person? Are people thinking that I'm also talking because they hear you talking? Like, I mean, like, and I'm not gonna, I mean, literally, if you call quiet on set and you keep talking to me and it's not critical, in my head, I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? I don't want to work with you anymore.
Yeah, you know what? And I will say this as a someone who works with background, as a background PA, especially when you bring 100 background onto a set, and even in between takes, and this is something that I do tell people, and some listen and some don't, which is really frustrating. But even if they just are 100 people are whispering in between takes, that's 100 voices that are like coming over while, and typically in between takes or in between setups or whatever, we have crew that's trying to like move stuff, director trying to give notes to actors. If you have 100 voices that all of a sudden start chatting, like, we can't, the job doesn't, like, we have to yell and be like, stop talking, like, please everyone, it's a small space, we have 100 of you, whatever, or whatever, even if it's like 20 people, either way, if it's a small enough space, it can be, one, really really dangerous because they're moving sharp, heavy, expensive equipment, or two, and if someone, if you can't hear the gaffer say behind you, like, watch out, then you could get knocked in
or
the
if you're
head.
not, or if you're not paying attention, like if you're engrossed in this conversation and you're not paying attention to things that are happening around
Yeah.
you, someone has to monitor your safety when you
Yeah.
should really just be spatially aware on set at all times or on
Right.
location at all
So
times.
the thing is like, and I guess that's more of like a background thing, but again, that's kind of,
That's an anyone
especially,
thing.
right. But especially, like, I think, I don't know, it's just one of those things where, like, when you're on set, you're doing your job. If you're at Crafty, if you're like whatever, if you're in holding, you can chill out, like, whatever, have your chats, do your quick little talking. I mean, it's maybe a little different if a crew member comes up to you and starts chatting a little bit, right? You can kind of like whatever. But I typically too, because I've also done background where I'm the background actor. And if a crew member starts chatting to me, I'll kind of chat back, but I won't like continue a conversation. Do you know what I
Right.
mean?
And your look towards the focus of where you're supposed to be, where the
Right.
focus is supposed to be to kind of hint at
Exactly.
that.
Exactly. So you again, you always have like need to have your what the purpose that you are there for, like, have that in mind. Essentially. Let's talk
Uh,
about two. Mo, you had a moment in grotesquerie where you networked.
yeah, yeah.
Let's hear it.
Because it was so interesting because was in my own honey wagon and then we were there for hours or we're in the makeup chair for a long time. And then I was on set for 3 hours straight in my position, on and off, acting and then, sitting there being very, very pregnant as things are moving around me, not being able to move out of this apparatus. So it's hard to, I mean, as an actor, like you want to be able to speak with the director and you want to be able to build and form that relationship. And really, there were so many things going on in the scene. There was like a big star in this scene, Niecy Nash, as well as, we had, police SWAT team coming in and doing
Yeah, a
their
lot of
acting part.
action.
So there were
Mhm.
a lot of things going on. We also had like I was also in a rig, like elevated from the floor with two other women, and so there were a lot of things going on and a lot of things coordinating, and so the director was busy, and so I was like, oh man, like I wonder, in my head. I think we talked about this when we did like a Patreon episode about my experience on this as a co-star in this episode, but about me and me being in my head was like, what am I doing a good job? Like, is this right? Is this what, he kind of gave like two notes and then that was it. And I'm like, oh my God, this is so emotionally charged. Like, how is it going? I just trusted my gut. And then at the end of it, he did come up to me and he's like, hey, you did a really good job. It's clear. Like you're an actor, like you have
Mhm.
training, how's the pregnancy going? And it was like probably a minute or less conversation, but I found out that he also had a kid on the way. And so those little pockets of time where you connect on a human level and they say like, hey, you're doing a great job. And I mean, it was so validating as an actor. I was just like, oh my God, this is what I wanted to hear all day. But if I would have stepped out and been like, oh, is this what you want? Oh my God, then I'm making it about me
Yeah.
instead of knowing my function and trusting the prep work that I did and trusting that, the process that it took for me to, be auditioned and be called back and do what I was put here to do. And because I did my job and because I acted like a professional, that was then recognized at the end.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and the thing is too is yeah, you didn't get in your head and yeah, you didn't let it get in your head of like I'm not getting the
I mean, it was
attention
something that
or
I had to
direction that
silence for
you
sure. Yeah,
right,
yeah,
right,
yeah.
exactly. And
Sometimes, but
so
so knowing sometimes no notes is good notes, or
right.
if you're a PA and no one's telling you no one's telling you you're doing something wrong, and no one. I mean, it's very rare that people are going to be like, "Oh, you're doing a great job." That's not something
Mhm.
that like because it takes time out of people's day to tell you that. Is it super validating? Do I recommend it for people in
Or
positions of
rather
leadership? Totally,
yeah, it
but
also may not happen in the moment of the job, but it may
right.
come at the end of the day or at the end of the scene
It
or
may
at the
come
very
as a referral 3 months later
right. Right.
for you to be
Yep.
on another set with them
Yep.
or someone they know.
Amen.
Amen, sister friend.
Yeah. Yeah, so networking on the job is super important. I mean, that's how I mean, again, we've said multiple times, like crazy people, but I mean, this whole industry is network. All like it all comes from referrals slash working with the same people that you love, you know? So that's how
Mhm.
people hire each other and get hired is through knowing one another. So yeah, you wanna
Yeah,
network.
so let's get into the good, the bad, and the ugly
Of
about
networking
networking
events.
events.
Yes, the good, the bad, and the ugly, because there's all of the above.
All of it.
Networking events are so can be so awkward. Like, let's put it first. But also, the one good thing is, everyone's there to do the same thing, to network, right?
Right.
So again, that's the good. Everyone's there for the same reason. And approaching someone can be awkward, but it's like that's literally what you do. That's what you're there to do. If someone is like standing alone, like you approach them because that's fine. Like that's what you do. Even if there's like a group of people, like come and insert yourself in the conversation because you want to get to know
Yeah,
people.
everyone is there with the common objective
Yeah.
to meet and to mingle. And so at least going up to someone is something that they signed up for when they came to
Yeah.
this event.
Because I mean, if you think about it, like, right, that's like the one of the only times that you can actually do that. Because if you see a group of people on the street, you don't walk up to them.
No,
That's
no,
not
no.
appropriate. They'd be like, who is this crazy person trying to come up to me and talk to me? Are they
I
trying to
don't know
pit box
you.
me?
Safety
Yeah.
issue.
Yeah, exactly. But networking events, it's the complete opposite. It's like, someone please come talk to me. I need to talk to someone else. Like everyone come
And
around.
we've been at networking events recently where it's women only or like primarily women
Yeah. Or
and
women
oh,
centered or
women
centric.
centered. Oh, beautiful things. Beautiful. Our favorite by
Yeah.
far. And also everyone comes up and is like, hey, sorry to just interject. And it's like, and every single time everyone's like, no, interject.
Please.
Who are you?
Yeah.
What's your name? What do you
Yeah.
do? And so I found that in 10 out of 10 of those circumstances, you are wanted and welcome, and people are excited to meet you.
I love that you just said 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10 times.
Yeah.
I've never had someone say, "Excuse me,
Approximately.
we're talking." No.
Yeah.
At a networking event, no one's ever said that.
No.
Also, the good is, what's the worst that could happen? The worst that could happen is you don't put yourself out there and you sit there and drink water or a drink all night by yourself. I mean,
Yeah.
that's not super pain. I mean, that's not the worst thing that could happen to you in life. And that's you not taking initiative. So I've never gone to a networking event and thought, man, I wish I hadn't have come. Not,
Mhm.
yeah, that Jessica's like, well, but I mean, I haven't thought like I shouldn't have come, period.
Yeah.
There have been moments where I'm like, was that
This
super
wasn't worth it or
helpful?
something, but
Yeah, this wasn't worth the money, maybe, or this, I didn't meet as many people as I wanted to, but I think it's also important to evaluate how you did.
yeah.
And think, did I get out of it what I wanted to get out of it? Did I go in with clear objectives?
Mhm.
And but yeah, let's get into the bad. We did the good. Everyone's there for the same reason.
It's awkward.
Yeah, the
It's
bad's it's
awkward.
awkward
It is
sometimes.
it is awkward. People there's a reason why people do come up and say, "Sorry, I'm gonna
Mhm.
interject." It's because it is awkward, but and it again, though, it's hopefully, like, the rest of the crowd being like, "No, it's fine. Come on in," you know? So, but also everyone's there this isn't necessarily bad, but it's something, again, that you kinda have to go into, is, like, everyone's there because they are trying to, like, move a certain way in their careers. They're trying to expand their network, they're trying to pivot, they're trying to start whatever it is. They're not there because they're, busy working on for 10 years out, working on, all the things that they need to work on and doing their stuff and happy and where they're at. They're there because they are trying to pivot, which means you're not necessarily like you shouldn't go in or I guess this would be like the highest of expectations. And I think that you will just come out super disappointed if you go in thinking, I'm going in there and I'm getting a job. Um,
Oh no.
which I mean, maybe you will in the future, but it's not going to be like I'm getting a job and I'm starting tomorrow because most people aren't coming in because they have a job to offer. They're getting going in because they're also looking for different jobs or different ways to move and connect with people. Yeah, so I think not again, not necessarily like bad, but kind of lower expectations of these
Or
are
adjust your
people that I'm going to
expectations
meet.
to what the realities of this situation are. Like,
Right.
you might not go in and be like, I need to meet a manager and an agent. And let's say there are no managers and agents there. I mean,
Yeah.
first of all, do your research. But but maybe that's like not the people that came in today, or maybe you did meet someone and they're totally not the right fit for you. So um yeah, the bad is like some of them are not going to be as beneficial as other ones,
Yeah.
but the more you put yourself out there and the more you do these networking events, the better you are going to be at them
Yeah, exactly.
and pitching
And
yourself or pitching your projects.
right, and that's part of like standing out, right? Because you do kind of have to like be like, we're all there for the same reason, essentially. And it's expanding their network in one way or another because of whatever reason. But how is it that you can like stand out or connect to people on another or different level? Because if we're all there doing the same thing, like while that's like nice that we do have that thing in common, how do you like stand out to be memorable to people that want to then like continue a relationship afterwards with you, you know? And I've found like sometimes it's literally just again, if you're a knitter talking about knitting, because who knows, maybe someone else will knit. If you're a mom talking about, how it's crazy to balance work and and family life,
Or
and
or
most
if
people
you
will have
made your
something.
outfit and someone's like, "Oh, I like your outfit." It's like, "Oh, thanks, I sewed it."
Yeah,
What? You know
right.
what I mean?
Yeah, so it can be on a bunch of different levels. And again, kind of learning how to pitch yourself and tell your story in like a cute niche little way. Again, that comes with just practice of everything. And also I would say too, that's a really great place to pitch like your projects that you're working on, to learn how to pitch it, like pitch
Oh,
your log lines for
totally.
things.
pitching your
I
log
mean,
lines at a networking event, 5 people at least are gonna ask you, and now you get used to saying it before
yeah.
you know, say it in front of an exec or something like that,
Right. The amount
that
of
you're
times
trying to.
too that we've had practice just pitching or talking about this podcast, pitching this podcast to people from networking events because everyone like wants to, everyone loves a great podcast because it's a little bit, you know, niche and different is crazy. Like I feel like we've been able to like narrow down our like what the Get Set podcast is through networking events, truly.
Totally, totally.
Yeah.
The ugly
Well,
of
the ugly
networking.
too, I guess another bad thing, though, one more bad thing is that it can be
Oh, tell me.
expensive. It can be expensive.
Oh, yeah.
So, one thing that which this episode will already be on our Patreon, but we went to the Women in Entertainment Summit. Mo paid for it, and it was about
Yep.
$100.
Yep.
I did not. I volunteered. So I took up 12 hours of my day, free labor for them. So, I mean, technically, yeah, if you had to work that day, that could be expensive because that's no paycheck that day. So,
Mhm.
kind of balancing out that. But I didn't pay for the experience itself. I worked and then I was able to like hop in and out of different panels. So yeah, try to
So it
find
can be
creative
expensive,
ways
but there can be
to get
ways
in.
around it.
Yeah.
And maybe it's, if you don't know a lot of people and this is something you really need to do to expand your network is go to these events, or something you want to do, or something that like fulfills you in that networking aspect.
Yeah.
Setting a budget for yourself,
Yeah.
maybe going to one a month instead of one a week.
Some of them too are just like $15, which I mean, $15, it still can be a lot, but if it's $15 and then they have, it's like at like a mixer type thing, just don't pay for alcohol, like go maybe bring a water or get a water or something. You don't necessarily have to pay because that can also be where it like gets more expensive is like once you're
Mhm.
buying two $30 drinks or whatever. Because crazy enough,
Right.
some drinks are
I
$30,
know, it's
which
wild.
is
I
insane.
know, crazy.
So yeah, it definitely can be expensive, but if you want to budget it and like Mo said, like select it where you're doing one a month or less or two a month versus like every single week or so on.
Yeah, and research it, and to make it worth it, research the ones that you're going to. No, first of all, knowing your objectives, researching what specific ones,
Yeah. Well, I mean, we've
going
been
in with the
to
intentions.
right, exactly.
Yeah.
And we've been to a couple that were like open to everyone. There wasn't like a specific jet demographic and they were okay, like for us. I mean, granted too, we had just kind of started going to those types of events, so maybe we didn't quite have our A game like solidified or like our pitching
No, I
game
did find that
solidified.
they were less helpful. I mean, it's not a
Yeah.
secret. We have a podcast that's centered around women in TV and
Hmm.
film and our stories and experiences. And honestly, those are my favorite networking events, because you already start with this common ground of our
Women
experience
in
in
the
the industry
industry.
is different.
Yeah. Yeah. Very true.
And we come with that history of, we have to work that much harder and our pitches have to be that much stronger, and it's just a sisterhood, like with anything. If you are women
Yes.
in yeah if you are if you are women in serving, if you are women in aviation, if you are women in whatever, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It's, our statistic in the workforce is lower, even though our education is typically higher,
Okay,
statistically.
spitting out facts. Let's do
I
it.
mean, I don't have the analytics, but I know you posted it the other week, so that's where I'm pulling it from. But I mean, really though, we're and so yeah, it's no surprise that the women led ones are our favorites. But
Hmm.
but yeah, the workarounds of the financial aspect of it, I think volunteering is a great aspect, because
Yeah.
not only do you get to go to the networking event for free, but you get to meet all the main players. Not
Hmm.
maybe not all the main players, but you get to meet if it's a smaller event, you might get to meet the founder of that company.
Which,
And
by the way,
yes,
yes, we're gonna
we
tell
met
the same
somebody at the
story.
Women in Entertainment Summit, yeah, who volunteered to be to one of the other networking events that we went, and now she's on the board
Yes,
because she
exactly.
mingled, and she aligned with their mission. She brought like good ideas, and so that even
And then they
if
brought her on. And now
correct,
she
so
has
even
that that whole thing at her in her
At her
toolbox now.
disposal.
Oh my
Yes.
gosh, so
Oh
cool.
my gosh, I know the access to all the webinars she has now.
Yeah.
Geez, that we pay
Yeah.
for monthly. Geez. So I mean, it could, you know, bring you into an even better cost savings by meeting the people who are running this event,
Yeah,
not just
yeah,
the attendees that are going there.
correct.
Okay, so we had some
Okay,
workarounds for the bad.
yeah,
Let's get into the
the
ugly and find
ugly,
some workarounds
mhm,
for those because it's
yeah.
pretty simple.
It's pretty simple, don't it's our advice. I mean, some people maybe will bond over it, but we always would advise not to, shit talk
No
at these
shit talking.
events. Mainly because you never know who's listening or who you're talking to. You know, you may be able to like be in a room and chat and someone's like, "Oh, I'm a writer." And you're like, "Great." Somehow, I don't know, Hallmark comes up or whatever and you're just like, "Oh, I hate those movies. They're so cheesy." Well, that writer was the, writer of
Oh,
Hallmark
I just
movies,
wrote one for that.
Yeah, exactly.
I
Um
just always feel like it's
so
beneficial not to start with the negative. And this
right.
happened, someone came up to us at one of the networking events and automatically was just like, "Oh my gosh, that last panel, like, oh, I hated it." Da, 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 da. And
Mhm.
I'm just looking around me because it gives me anxiety. I'm looking around me. I'm like, hopefully no one from the panel or no one who booked those panels thinks I'm
Is
with this
around.
person
Yeah.
because literally feet away one of the organizers was there and was like, "Hey,
Mhm.
like, what did you hope from this event?" Or like, "What?" And I'm like, "Oh my God, get me out of this situation. Like, I think it's great. I'm happy to be here. Thank you so much. Bye." You know
Yeah.
what I mean? I just think also I come from a place where uh, I don't subscribe to the idea that like, oh, I'm just real. And sometimes that means being rude. And if I don't subscribe to that at all, I generally never click with those people. If I'm wearing an ugly outfit, I would like you to tell me that, oh, you know what? It's not my favorite one that you've worn. Like maybe this one instead. I don't want you to tell me Monique that's an ugly ass outfit. I want you to curate your thoughts. So
Oh my god.
in all
No, but I
aspects
think
of my life,
listen,
I
I
want you to be kind.
here's the thing. With this industry, there's a lot of shit in it. So there's a lot to
Yeah.
talk about. We totally can shit talk our way all the way down,
Oh, I should talk with Jessica, that's for sure.
Right, right, right. But you don't start that way.
And
Um,
no,
but the
yeah,
thing is that if the first thing out of your mouth is a negative, it's not necessarily gonna give the best, I don't know, like the best perception of you, you know?
correct.
I think that especially like again, if you're on a set for fucking 14 hours, you want to be with people who are like-minded and who are because I mean, here's the thing, we'll all like if you're there, like yes, you can bond over your misery and it is lovely, sometimes it's therapeutic. However, like you got to get past it at some point. You can't just be
Mhm.
hating, otherwise the situation stays bad. So look at
You
the
gotta be a
positive. Try to
problem
find the
solver, you
positive in
gotta
things.
yeah, you gotta be able to work
Yeah.
through it. Of course, if something's a safety concern and if you're not safe and things are not okay, like, there are
Right.
proper ch op too, like, shit talking isn't gonna help your situation. You
Mhm.
going up your chain of command, you calling your union and being like, "Hey, this is uncomfortable," like, you going the proper channels instead of just shit talking to anyone you know, um, that's not gonna get you the results you want anyways, it's just gonna
Right.
make you look like an asshole.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I mean but it isn't important to speak up if you need to, of course. Just do it the proper way. And
Right.
yeah, I think the main thing is if you're trying to show that you're easy to work with or
Mhm.
enjoyable to work with,
Well, and that's the thing is
complaining about stuff right off the bat is not the way.
you're getting bite-size pieces from people, right? So you're talking to people for maybe 15 minutes and then moving on to the next. And that's 15 minutes
Mhm.
at best, unless you're like really clicking, right? And then you're moving on to the next. And the only thing I know about you now is that you hated the last panel. I don't know your name. I mean,
I don't know
whatever,
her
maybe your
title.
name.
Yeah, I
Yeah, I
really
don't
don't
know
know
what
what she
she,
does.
right, exactly. All I know is that she hated the last panel and it's like, okay. And maybe that
How does
person
that
really loved the
serve
last
each
panel. Who
other?
knows? Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
it's not helpful per se, yeah. Shit
And it
talking is
doesn't pose
it
the best
happens,
light on
but
you.
right. I
Right.
just think it's a more so, especially in these networking events, it's a waste of time. Don't if we're
Totally.
thinking
It's
about
not time
time,
properly utilized.
right. It's like, how do people remember you? They're not going to remember you by hating because you hated the last panel or because, you hate Hallmark movies or you hate whatever else, like it's, you have to like be, I don't know, you have to give them something. You know what? I'm going to quote Taylor Swift at the
Quoter.
very end of the Lover album on the very last little bit in Daylight. She just like speaks into the ether and she's like, I don't want to be remembered for what I hate. I want to be remembered for what I love. Be remembered
Yes.
for what you love. Follow Taylor Swift.
Follow it. I love that. Okay, so we're going to get into now networking solo versus networking with a partner.
Yes.
I enjoy networking. Jessica is my networking partner.
Yes, we are
I
each
am
other's
hers.
networking partner. Yes.
Whenever there's an
And
event
she is mine.
and there
Yes.
we can do she is mine and I am hers. We
Yes.
could and if we do plus ones or if there's an opportunity for both of us to go, 10 times out of 10 we will both try to go.
Yeah.
If one of us goes alone, we're going to be like, go soldier.
Yeah.
Soldier on, and I believe in you and I do not envy you.
Yeah, I hate doing it solo. It's just, well, here's the thing too. I think another issue, I guess, is as women, it's really hard to talk yourself up without feeling like you're coming off conceited or whatever, because we're just told not like we're taught, it's a social thing. We're taught to like kind of diminish ourselves a little bit, right? Which I
Yeah.
mean, things are hopefully changing a little bit here and there. Who knows? We'll talk to the newest generation and see what they think. But at least like when I grew up, it's still kind of like you just don't necessarily do
They're
that.
like, "Oh, you're very what is it? You're so arrogant. You're not humble if you're talking up about what you're doing." And
Right,
we
right.
there are ways that you can talk yourself up and be passionate about your project without
Yeah.
being not
Yeah.
humble, I
But
guess.
it is still hard to do and hard to get around. So
Totally.
that's why when we go as partners, and especially because Mo's the actress, I'm the writer director, we're both the producers, sort of, oh, Mo's more so producing. I just like, produce it because, we're together sort of thing. But we're able to like kind of talk each other up and like we both need different aspects, different things. If someone comes around and is like, "Oh, I'm a director," I'm like, "Look at Mo. She's an actress. Like, get her number. Like,
And if
maybe you
someone
need
says,
it."
"Oh, I have a concept, but I really need a writer," I'm like, "Oh, here's
Right.
Jessica." Or
It's
someone's
so
like, "Oh,
much
I need a female director." I'm like, "The best one's right next to me. She's my
stuff.
producing partner."
Yeah, it's so much easier to like, and two, again, the other day we were trying to get like a pitch-ish type deck about ourselves together, and our other producing partner asked like, okay, what are some of your like laurels or what are some of the things that you've done? And I was like, I've done this and that. And then Mo was like, no, bitch, you've done the whole alphabet. You've done XYZ and then
You've done
some.
this and this and this and this and this.
And
She's
I
like,
was
"Oh,
like,
I
oh
guess I
yeah,
did do that."
I forgot. Which, by the way, yesterday when I had the interview, Mo, they like started to ask about like how, tell me about yourself. And I was like, God damn, I wish Monique was here because she'd be bringing up all the
I
other
know.
things
I
that
want
I've
to be
done.
your manager. I really want to be.
I know. Because I did
It is
afterwards
like
be like,
having
oh,
a
I
free
forgot about
manager.
this. Yeah, yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is like having a free manager with you.
Yeah, yeah. But it's
When ha-
it's it's just so nice. And I think too, the other thing is when you go with a partner, because I've gone with another partner who we know each other, but like not that well. And we didn't have that like same like spark of energy of like keep it going. I think that when you go, if you're going to go with a partner, it should be someone that you really know really well and can, and like know their work too, and can like really talk them up.
for it to be the most beneficial,
Yeah.
100%. I have definitely gone to networking events with people I know less and like I know their work less and they know my work less, and it's has not been as I do feel like I'm going solo.
Yeah.
So, and
It's
Jessica
nice
and I
because you have
worked.
that it's nice because you have that comfort. It's not like you're ever going to be standing alone in the corner by yourself. However, how beneficial it is like a little here and there. And here's the thing too, maybe you go the first time and it's not that great, but then you go the second time and you're like, oh yeah, now I know better. So it's like a little bit of like, trial and error and keep going and
So, but if you
building
are
that
going solo,
partnership.
I do want to give you some pro tips
Yes.
there because you're I started going solo, and the main thing
Mhm.
is to still go. If you can
Yeah.
afford it, if you can get there, if it is, still go, because you need to find how you at the end of the day, you're still going to need to pitch yourself. You're
Yeah.
still going to need to be able to be a normal human being and
Yep.
be able to meet people and talk to people on your own. And you're going to meet a myriad of different people. You're going to meet people who are working on similar genres than you or different genres than you. And you're going to have to be able to pivot your conversation and be genuinely interested in what the other person's doing. And so it is great going solo because you get to work as a networking person on your
Yeah.
own and
Yeah.
serve your agenda. Also, if you're networking solo, maybe that's where you find your networking partner.
Right.
Maybe a friend of maybe it's not them, but you follow them on Instagram, you talk to them a little, you go to the next networking event that's more curated and smaller, and then you meet your networking partner there. So
Mhm.
I think going solo, it's about being open-minded, and it's about it being open-minded, that and being and learning how to talk
Talk
about
yourself
yourself
up.
comfortably and
And you
learning
need
how
to
to be
talk about your
interested in other people.
yeah, and talk yourself up. Like, I don't know, maybe we're harping on it because this is actually something that we're very,
We had to work
like,
through.
right, exactly, especially mentally and just practicing it. But I just think, I don't know, you just got to talk yourself up. Tell people you're literally there to meet people and for them to meet you. Don't forget that. You want to meet people, but they need to meet you too. So you need to tell them like what it
Yeah.
is that you are doing and all the amazing things you've done, and yeah, just spit out that
And
resume.
if you haven't done anything yet, like if you haven't done a short yet, or like let's say you're just writing a pilot, guess what? You have a pilot in development. Or
Hmm.
I'm writing a pilot, or I just got out of school, or yeah, I just started reading this book. Like maybe have two or three, two things that you're doing towards your career. Like, oh, I took this really good class the other day when people are like, what are you doing? Or it's like, oh, I'm in the budgeting phase of like where I'm at with my careers. I mean, that is so real and specific, and
Yeah,
I bet you that you'll find people that really attach to that. It's talking yourself up, but being authentic too,
I
which I
guess
know is
too.
hard to do both.
This goes with the no shit talking. Don't be shit talking about yourself, even internally, right? Like the whole thing
Yes.
is, oh, I don't have a short yet. Oh, I haven't done that. I mean, you can play it like that, or you can say, I'm pivoting. I'm trying this out. I'm exploring my career.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, and it's again, it's spinning that negative self talk or negative, whatever thought process into the positive and saying I'm trying to do this because it brings like a forward action, and people obviously are, they want to
Yeah.
meet with someone who's working on something.
Let's say you've been working in finance and you're like, oh yeah, I'm actually pivoting. I've been working in finance this many years and I'm pivoting and now I'm doing this. Someone might be like, oh my God, you speak money?
Yeah.
Like I will get you on my production. You could have production experience, but I need someone who speaks money.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
like? It's wild the way in which people will connect with you and what people
Hmm.
need that you don't even know about until
Yeah.
you talk about yourself.
Yeah. Don't
I will
undervalue
say
yourself.
correct. Or your skills. I
Hmm.
will say, I give this, I would say this advice to people going solo or people going with a partner. Practice what you're going to say about yourself. You could, if you're going solo, you can practice in front of a mirror. You could practice in front of your animal. You can call your mom. You can call your friend and say, "Hey, I'm going to this networking event. How do these two sentences sound? And does it sound like me?"
Hmm.
And that's still you being authentic and genuine, but it's like I need to say it again concisely because I don't have a lot of time with these people. It's like
It's
speed
log
dating.
line. It's elevator
It's
pitch
log
yourself.
line.
It's
Yes.
like
And
it's everything that we need in the film industry anyway. Like we are told to practice this for our
elevator
our
pitches.
yeah, our elevator pitches for our productions and for our scripts and for whatever that we're working on. Like you got to do it for yourself too because you're trying to sell yourself or sell yourself. But yeah, you're trying to kind of, make yourself
Pitch
attractive
yourself.
to people. Yeah, pitch yourself.
Yeah. And I would do it with your partner too. If you're going with a networking partner, I do this with Jessica, like, hey, what's our objective tonight? Like,
Mhm.
hey, we're working on 5 different productions at the moment. Which
Yeah.
one do we need the most help on? And which one is our main focus tonight? Is
Yeah.
it the feature? Is it the pilot? Is the web series?
Yeah,
Based
because
on
we have
based on
so
this
many.
networking event, it's this tonight,
Yeah. Especially, yeah, because we have so many pots cooking right now. which is lovely. And like when we really get down to it, I mean, we can say all I'm like, yeah, we're doing this, but at the end of it, it's like, okay, where's the breath? And have we just listed off so many things that no one can grab onto anything?
And maybe try it
So
out.
yeah.
Like this convo, we let someone go first and be like, "Oh, this is a
Mhm.
feature person. This convo, oh, this is a pilot person. Let's talk to them about our series."
Mhm.
So, or this is someone who really loves. They just said that they love podcasts. Let's pitch the podcast to them and talk to them about it.
Yeah, exactly. Um, Also, let's talk about what you need when you go to these networking events. Mo, take it
Yes.
away. You're the queen of this.
Queen of what I am the queen of virtual business cards. That's what I'm
Yeah.
the queen of.
So the
I've
first thing you definitely need is a business card. They can be physical, but Mo, go ahead.
I love virtual business cards. We're not killing the trees. And I don't want to offend anyone by giving them a piece of paper. What if they are very like, oh my God, like, also,
Why would
I've
they?
been,
I'm so concerned about what you just said. Why would
oh,
someone get
really?
offended over a
Oh,
piece
I
of
have
paper?
coworkers who are just like, oh, why did you like if this could be digital, let's make it digital. I don't like printing paper.
Stop. Okay. That's hilarious.
I mean,
I
business
wouldn't
cards
be
are
worried about
important. These
offending.
I would, yeah. I mean, yeah. I'm just a worrywart.
Listen,
So,
sometimes like the tactical stuff is better for people.
oh,
It would
totally.
just
Once it's in
yeah.
their wallet, then they have to physically, throw it away. However, here,
That's what they're doing.
or keep it, or keep it, or keep it, or keep it. Like
They have to physically throw it away, so it's harder.
so it's harder. But I would argue
Uh,
not, because here are the pros of a digital business card.
well, also, how many
First of
times do you go through your camera roll to
Jess,
throw it
let me get
away?
to it. Let me tell the pros.
Sorry.
You're jumping the gun. I'm
You're like,
so
you took my
excited about
idea.
digital. You took my idea. I'm so excited about virtual business cards because I was part of the Hollywood Fringe festival, and part of the festival is you got to you got to put butts in the seats. We had like, I don't even know, 5 7 productions, which is a lot. Some of them only go up once or twice, but we had a lot of show times. And so after or before, once a week, the Fringe Festival puts on a networking event, usually at like a bar. There were people, not filmmakers, the theater production people can meet. And this bar at the end of the night is littered with postcards of their show.
A confetti
So
of postcard or
a
of
confetti of
business cards.
postcards, an environmentalist's worst nightmare. And so that's literally the image I have in my head. But then someone was like, "Oh, I don't have printed one." I handed them a printed one, totally fine. Our printed ones were super cute. On printed ones, you could also write privatized things, which are great. Privatized. You could
Mm-hmm.
also write personal things. So it's
Mm-hmm.
like, "I met you here. We both have dogs," and then give it to them so they can kind
Yeah.
of remember you. So the physical aspect of that, if you're going to write a personal note on it, is helpful. But this person was just like, "Oh, hey, I'll airdrop it to you," because we both had iPhones. She airdropped me it, and now it's in my camera roll, which I very rarely clear out, and I really should. And so then I went back like a month later, and I'm like, "Oh my God, I met this person still in my camera roll. Look at that." Or I really want to go to their show. I can't find the card that was in a purse. Now I'm carrying another purse, and I'm somewhere else. Oh, let me look back in my phone, and there it is.
Mm-hmm.
So I took that idea of the virtual, or
Business
sorry, the
card.
digital postcard for a show, and I made a digital business card. And so I could text that to people. I can airdrop it to people. The one thing I will say that I did not appreciate was someone tapped my phone to get my contact information, and I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa. I'm going to direct you to my Instagram. I'm not giving you I don't know you. I
Yeah.
don't want to give you my personal phone number unless we are truly vibing, which sometimes
Yeah.
I do. Or, I will if they don't have, if they have a Galaxy phone instead of an iPhone. I'm not prejudiced against that. I'm going to text you my digital business card, so now you have my number. But still, like, I strongly advise against doing that and
Yeah.
instead airdropping it to them so they can accept it or not, because I don't know. It was very accosting to me in that moment. I didn't know what I looked at Jessica and I'm like, I don't know what to do. And you're like, it's just your contact info. I'm like, okay.
I know, yeah, I
I just
wasn't
felt like
helpful
I
with
couldn't
that,
say
sorry.
no. I'm just like, oh, I'm gonna airdrop it to you. And she's like, no, no, I'll just get your contact info right now, dude. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Update my
Um,
settings.
Yikes. That was also the same person that came up and was negative Nancy to Monique, so she was very
No.
offended by this person.
But also, what am I gonna like? I don't. What am I gonna do with that contact info? Yeah,
Right, well, the thing is, so here's
I
my
think a
thing
business card
too.
is so much more helpful because you're giving on my business card is a QR code
Right.
to our link to our podcast, a link to my access profile.
Yeah.
So you can, whether you're like a listener for the podcast or whether you're a director, writer, producer who needs an actor, on my business card are both of those links that they can tap, that they can scan, and all of the information they need to get a hold of me is right there.
Right. And the thing is too is it's just not the smartest thing because when you get your contact too, like how many names do you have in your contact list that you don't even remember who they are anymore? You
So
know?
many.
So I think that, at least with the virtual the virtual business card, you have something, you have the QR codes, which again, do some QR codes on on your virtual business cards or your physical ones, whichever one. And then also I really like just exchanging social media contacts as well, or
Yes.
at least doing that in addition to other contacts, mainly because I personally am really bad with names. So I can have the business card, I can look at the name, and I'm like, who the fuck was this? I do not remember this person at all. But if I have your social media contact, and usually too, another thing is like if you just add social media, like just add your Instagram, I may, if you don't post a lot, I may forget about you? So I like having the social media in addition to, because if I see your business card and then I look at the social media, I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. Now I know who the two people are, or the
Yeah,
one
and
person is.
usually if you're sharing your social media, you have some work up there,
Right.
or something. And so it's a nice refresher that, yeah,
Yeah.
I get to like go on and see like, oh, this is what they're up to. And like, oh, I
Mhm.
would really want to know about this, or
Yep.
maybe they would be a good guest for the pod, or like, I'd really
Yeah.
like to, I think it's a great tool that even if you don't have a business card, I mean, literally the virtual business card could take you 5 minutes to make on something like Canva.
Mhm.
But so I've literally done it and updated it on our way to a networking event. Or like once we get to a networking event, once we park, I'm like da 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 da, and I just shoot it over to Jessica, and I'm like, "Here's your business card for tonight," and she's like, "Oh my god, thanks."
Yeah.
And so I think it's so great. But if not, yeah, there is social media, and I think again, we're women in the industry. I think it's so much safer to give a social media handle than to give your personal phone number. So much
Yep.
safer.
Yep.
Like I said, we've networked at these women events, which is great. But if you're networking an event that's, anyone, I've networked with men before and given them numbers, and it is strange sometimes. It can be
Mhm.
if people make it awkward. I had
Mhm.
a situation where it was totally like platonic. Like I was already in a committed relationship. I was engaged. I wore my engagement ring the whole time. Exchanged numbers because we're both working on things and met at a networking event, and then totally texting, talking about you know
Business.
industry life
Yeah.
goals, and strictly platonic. And then all of a sudden this person texted me, I can't talk to you anymore. I just I'm just not interested in just like a friendship. And I'm just like, bye, bitch. Like,
Yeah.
what?
It's
I had
so
an
weird.
engagement ring on the whole time. I talked about me and my partner. We literally spoke about industry stuff. Like, what are you talking about? I don't know. So,
People are weird. He obviously
moral of
caught
the
some
story,
feelings.
yeah, 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 yeah. Networking, yeah. It is, you are giving up a personal piece of information when you give out your phone number. So I do not recommend it unless it's like a friend of a friend and it's like, oh, I
Yeah.
know you. I've been meaning to meet you. Like, please, let's connect. I need to get lunch.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I would
Um,
get lunch with them or meet virtually before you give that contact info, because you can organize that all through DMs.
yeah. Also, I think the biggest takeaway from these networking events, follow up. But don't be weird. But follow up, stay connected. Even like if again, even if it's not these networking events, if you're meeting these network, from you're networking from all these other things from school, from work, from, all these random other places, the whole point is that you need to connect. Otherwise, you will be forgotten. I mean, yes, like we are connected still with people from school, but it's because we keep up those relationships. And then again, with these networking events, like you can give out all your business cards, all your social media, everything. But if you don't initiate a follow up, whether it be, hey, how you doing? How are things going? Or like, do you want to go get coffee or whatever it is, like whatever level it is that you're on? Or can we set up an informational interview? I'd love to chat more about your job or, whatever via Zoom or whatever. Like, that is like the chances of someone else doing that to you are slim to none. I think I've had maybe like 2 or 3 people reach out to me individually after these network events. And again, you're not necessarily following up with every single person you meet. And sometimes you come away from the networking event and you're like, that was information and like new, but like I don't know if I really connected with anyone per se.
Yeah, maybe you just learn more about yourself and
Right,
what
right.
you need from a networking event.
Exactly. But if there is someone or some people that you like really do feel like I would like to talk to them more and like understand where they're at or whatever it is, or just like maybe they're in the spot in the career that you want to be getting to, just like again, kind of learning from them. Then you need to follow up. You need to like take the time to send them the DM, to email them, to whatever it is. Of course, don't be weird about it. Um yeah, Mo, did you have I know you said to put that there, so did you have a story about the don't be weird?
About the don't be weird?
Yeah.
Oh, no. I
Okay.
feel like there's a lot of stories about don't be weird.
Yeah,
And
maybe you've already
I
said
mean,
it.
weird is not like, I mean, people sometimes take the word weird and they like coin it and they treasure it. And that's not like having eclectic interests. That's not weird. Um, what's what's weird is sending someone an email of 5 paragraphs when you barely know them, because you're asking, and the reason and why it's weird is because they don't owe you anything. It's you're asking them to take the time of like 5 to 10 minutes of their life to stop for you,
Mhm.
and you didn't bother curating your message or your ask when you go ahead and sent this.
Yeah.
um I think it's the effort. It's like, look at me, read my stuff, look at my stuff, without that's not networking actually, because it's not building a connection, and
Yeah.
it's not, a mutual connection, because that's the best type of networking event, is a connection that's mutual, not
Yeah.
what can you do for me. It's the service that I can provide for you as well. And that's a great networking tip. Like, we were talking about volunteering, but like, if you see um a company on social media, and they're, and you think that you can provide, or a company or a person on social media, and you don't know them, but you think you can provide a service for them, not like, hey, grow your followers today, but
Yeah.
it's like, I am a designer. If you're ever looking for a graphic designer, my prices are low right now, or I'd be willing to, do a mock-up for you for free because I'm expanding my portfolio. That is networking, and
Yeah.
that is
Well, I
free.
mean, think
And
about
that is
Kate.
in you
She's a
being in
reader.
service to someone. Yeah,
Yeah,
say that again.
think about Kate. She's a reader for scripts, a
Mhm.
script reader. So if she were to go to that freaking, one of those networking events, be like, yeah, I'm a script reader. I'm a writer and a script reader. How many writers are there in the room? Like 1,000.
So
So,
many.
I mean,
And
she could totally build
she's one of
her.
our friends,
Mhm.
and she, through networking, I
Mhm.
met her through another friend of mine, and I did a stage reading of her incredible play. She came on the pod, and we, advertise her business. We totally advocate for her because she read our script,
Mhm. Well,
and
she read
did
our
that
script
for
after
us.
we advocated for her.
Right. So
So
it's
she
like,
did
how can
that,
you
yeah, mutual.
yeah, so how can you be in service of other people, and and then in turn, they'll could be in service for you, but it's not looking for what can you do for me. That is never, I think, a fruitful way to network.
Yeah. Which, by the way, let's shout her out, Kate Bailey. Yeah, we'll put her Instagram somewhere. I think in our Instagram somewhere, she's like, whenever we did her episode, you'll find her
She
Instagram.
did insane, wonderful script coverage.
100, yeah, really, really great in-depth script coverage. So hit her up
at a very, very affordable price.
Yeah.
So
especially since Coverfly, Coverfly is like going down right now. So like going out of business. So that's like actually a really, really good resource. And she is like vetted and like works for.
This is her this is her day job. Yeah.
Right. She works for a company. She doesn't want to release like what company it is, but it's like a premium
network
company.
TV show.
Yeah. It's massive.
A network. A network. Yeah.
So yeah. Anyways, the very last thing is like, if you're not in the area to network or you can't afford to network, there's nothing, meaning can't afford to go to these networking events. Obviously, again, hit those other spots that we talked about earlier. However, you can also network and use it in conjunction with all these other things via social media. That's the one good thing. You don't necessarily have to be in the room anymore. Also, there were, I don't know if they're still doing virtual rooms, but during the pandemic, they were doing virtual rooms.
That's how Jessica and I met.
Exactly.
Through virtual networking.
Yeah, exactly. You can just get on anywhere.
There are still, but there are definitely, there's,
I mean, even if you're
I think social media is a good free way to start. Yeah.
Yeah. Even
to find these events.
If you're in LA and you're thinking about moving to New York or something, like try to find virtual or like New York based type, I don't know, people to like on social media or whatever. And you can totally network
and then
with
make connections before you do the move. Same thing if you're planning on moving to LA. Do some virtual calls. If you we'll put some resources below in the show notes of ones that that we've found great. We've already mentioned Women in Entertainment. We loved them.
Yeah, Moonshot is great.
Moonshot is a wonderful one. We'll link below. And so and they do virtual webinars as well. So highly recommend. We did do a Patreon about the Women in Entertainment Summit, which is an annual day-long event, which we highly recommend.
Yeah, we did a full breakdown.
So go check out our Patreon at patreon.com/oldgirlsentertainment for that and all of our other exclusive subscriber episodes.
Yeah. Until next time.
Go get set.
Woo!